Greetings, Israel. This is Yuda Yasharel, wishing all of you a nice and pleasant day. Yesterday, I was trying to get cool from all this heat out here in this desert. And the Most High impressed upon me, or impressed upon my spirit, something that most of us, if not all of us, overlooks. We grew up in this land of our captivity, following what we thought was the way life was. We didn't question much, at least most of us didn't. But it came to me yesterday that the Most High put it in my mind, make no mention of other gods. And I was laying there saying, well, I don't. I just didn't get it. And I kept wondering, why am I still hearing this? I'm not making any mention of other gods. And then it hit me. And this is what I got. We go through our lives naming every day of the week. And it's innocent as far as your intentions. You're only doing what you were taught. But it was wrong. I'm going to explain that. This video is going to be pretty short, but straight to the point. So let's go to Exodus 23 and 13. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. Now, the reason I brought this scripture is, and I'm going to show it to you in just a few minutes. But the reason I brought this scripture is because every one of us does this on a daily basis. And we were under the impression, as long as we don't mention the gods of other nations that we know of, and that includes JC, that we were good. Well, that's not the case. Let's go to Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1. I'm going to show you how clever these beasts are. Now, the serpent was more subtle. Now, before I go any further, let's go down and look at the meaning of subtle. Making use of clever and indirect methods to achieve something. All right? Now, the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Most High had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath the Most High said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? All right, this beast is so clever. Let me show you what he did. You see these days here? These are the names of their gods. Each one of them is a name of their gods. And we were so subtly tricked into speaking these names, unconscious of what exactly we were doing. So, to break it down a little better, they knew that some of us was going to find the truth. So they made arrangements for just in case. So when you discovered JC was not to be mentioned out of your mouth, You felt like you had it all covered. But this was their backup plan. Well, this is what I figured they probably said to themselves. Well, if they figure this out, we'll set this up. So if they do everything they're supposed to do right, as long as they are calling these names, each one of these names, they're still breaking the law. And they don't know it. Man, this beast is clever. So every time you call out a name of whatever day it is of that week, you are breaking the law. These are gods. These are their gods. Now let me show you the way the Most High did it. Genesis 1 and 5. And the Most High called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. He numbered the days. He numbered the weeks. He numbered the month. You can go from the beginning of the book all the way to the end. You will never once find the Most High calling any of his days, weeks, or months by any name. And that's a fact. And now we can see why. We're supposed to number the days based on the sighting of the new moon. Do you see how all of this is coming together as one? This is directly connected to the new moon. The reason for us having the new moon is to understand the calculation of the Sabbath and the days by the numbers. So on the sighting of the new moon, you simply start counting. And I suggest keeping a pencil and paper and write out these numbers of each of these days so that you can know what day of the week or of the month that it is. And that way you don't have to call these gods. My wife and I are working on ways to overcome this. It's not going to be the easiest thing in the world to do because, like I said earlier, you grew up this way. And that's a long time to do something a certain way. And it becomes a habit. But we have to break these habits because we're violating the Most High's laws. And he told us, don't let the name of the gods be heard coming out of your mouth. Well, every time you do this, you're doing what he said don't do. So I'm going to end this lesson here, but I will be back with more. But for the time being, I bid all of my family shalom.